Two copies of Dre. Whoa, check out this brick I found! I could play Constructed, but my decks are way too consistent and fun. Man, I just want to break all my draws and not have any starters in my opening hand. Wait, I could just play Monarchs! Hello, YouTube, Rojas here. This is Monarchs for the normal rare event, and I don't think this deck's really gonna get hit when the deck rolls around again, so this might even be useful in the future. While not the most prevalent deck right now, this is just insanely good. It runs a lot of good generic engines. I haven't actually lost a single game to my opponent. I've only lost to myself bricking. But hey, in the normal rare event, if you brick, well, GG's, just move on to the next one, right? This deck's insanely powerful. It has insane grind game, outgrinds Metal Foes easily, at least from my experience so far. Maybe the Metal Foes players aren't playing well, but just insane card advantage, just insane back row and monster removal. And just a really fun, simple strategy that if you don't want to devote a lot of brain power to learning how to play your deck, hey, just like with the real game, you could always revert back to Monarchs and just turn off your brain. Reject Yu-Gi-Oh! Return to Monkey. Anyways, I'm going to try to not waste too much time. I have timestamps down below if you want to skip forward to anything that you're interested in. And thank you for checking out the video. So I'm going to go ahead and hop right into the gameplay to not waste too much time. Alright, getting into the deck list, this is a nice and easy one again because we're not able to run an extra deck for Monarchs Erupt, so it's going to be nice and quick. 3 copies of the Majesty Maiden. She's really good at getting you card advantage because she searches out any of the other true Draco monsters, be it Ignis or Dreniath, and she isn't a hard once per turn, so she's just going to get you tons and tons and tons of advantage. Then we run 1 copy of Ignis Heat. Again, Ignis Heat, same concept here, allowing us to draw our continuous spells and gain that advantage, and why this deck is so powerful. And a well-known thing about this event, every game's lasting at least 4 turns, so gaining advantage is absolutely huge. You could even out-resource Metal Foes pretty easily with this deck. 1 copy of Kuraz. We actually run the Monarchs because the Monarchs are searchable and they're just kind of generically good. Kuraz, you're almost never going to hit your opponent's card unless you're really desperate. This is typically to break your own board and just gain card advantage because whoever gets their cards destroyed gets to draw, so this potentially lets you remove 2 dead cards from your field and draw 2 cards, and that's just crazy. 2 copies of Draath. Again, just more names, more true Draco names because you're not trying to break. 1 copy of Loyal Guan. This is basically just the rare Pankratops. Every list is basically running this. Lets you special summon itself, lets you pop. If you don't feel like using it anymore, you could even tribute over it. Again, just really good to have the Pankratops in the deck. Maybe I'd consider upping this to 3 and cutting out Kuraz, but 1's been working more than fine for me so far. 1 copy of Thestalos, because ripping cards from your opponent's hands is just really fun, and burning them too just really helps end those games a lot quicker. And again, is the one, since the Monarchs aren't searchable, it's just a really easy way to end the game and just ruin your opponent's chances at having a top deck, and they'll typically scoop if you hit a good card. 1 copy of Ryza. Again, Ryza's always been the best Monarch, and being able to bounce something from graveyard and get it back to hand is sometimes really relevant. 1 copy of Nidhogg, along with 1 copy of Garda. The Generaiders are just here again for part of the small generator package. You have a 40% chance of seeing the monsters first, but typically you'll at least get 1 of them to resolve, and they're just so strong that it's worth running them because their effects are absolutely insane, especially when paired with the true Dracos. Especially Nidhogg. Nidhogg doesn't actually need boss stage to continue resolving, because if you have a card up like True King's Return, it's always going to have fodder to get rid of something, so every single turn. So you could just keep stopping your opponent from special summoning, and I just had this card win me so many games. 3 copies of Boss Stage. When you do see this early, it just absolutely stomps your opponent, and it baits out MST so they can't use it on your other cards. 2 copies of March of the Monarch. This card is really good. It stops you from being targeted by cards like Dinomiscus. This is probably the brickiest of the cards, so that's the reason why this one's only at 2. 3 copies of Return of the Monarchs, letting you search out your true Dracos and also your Monarchs, and just lets you stack that advantage you're going to be gaining. 3 copies of Heritage. Heritage is really good. Again, Heritage is much like Disciples. When it is tributed, it lets you special summon your true Dracos, and when sent to the graveyard, it just lets you MST your opponent's back row, which is absolutely crazy, while both gaining you card advantage and recycling your cards. 2 copies of Olenoides. The Paleo package is insane, not only just because every deck that knows what they're doing is running it in this event, but because they put bodies on the field which you contribute for your true Dracos and your Monarchs, which is absolutely nuts. 3 copies of Dinomiscus, probably the MVP of the whole event, absolutely been crushing it. Every deck is basically running this this targeted banishing is insane. 3 copies of Monarchs Erupt. Now, this deck doesn't have super high attack beaters, so you might think that cards like Dragublion, which you're seeing a lot, are big threats, but they're really not, because they're not going to be killing you quickly with the Dragublion deck anyways. You just stall the game with your huge bodies that you could bring out every single turn. You find your Erupt, then you negate all effects, and then you're free to hit them with either True King's Return or Dynamiscus to banish their big 3000 attack monsters, even if it's Tenyi. 3 copies of Erupt, skill drain, that's a normal, I mean, that's the whole reason we're playing True Dracos. This card's insane. All you need to do is have a tribute summon monster in order to activate it. True King's Return, opposite effect of the spell cards, this lets you pop your opponent's monsters, and that is just bonkers. Not only that, always bringing resources back to the field, which, although their effects won't go off because they're not tributed, you can use those, you can just tribute those monsters, or it could synergize with other cards like Nidhogg. And 1 copy of True Draco Apocalypse, again, just mostly here for the effect to pop monsters. Sometimes the effect to lower attack will come up and be relevant, but it hasn't been that big of a player. And for the extra deck, we ain't got anything, because the extra deck has counter synergy with cards like Monarchs Erupt, which requires you have no extra deck, so we just forego the extra deck. It's nice and simple, and wait, we got a nice and easy deck to make. That's super easy to learn, because you don't have to learn any of your extra deck plays. Anyways, I'm gonna skip the babbling, and I'm gonna get right into the gameplay, so y'all can check out how this deck works. Alright, so it doesn't even matter. They're gonna make us go first. Every deck wants to go second, except for yeah, this is a little awkward. That's been a while since that happened. YouTube curse. Oh, this was such a good going first hand, too. I mean, I would have had to give up the aura. Can I stop? I keep opening these. I'm about to cut the Generaiders down to 1. No, 2 is correct. It's fine to brick 1 card. It really doesn't matter. Your whole hand never ends up mattering. Dino Mist. Oh, hello. I was hoping you'd be Metal Foes, but alright, I'll play a little Dino Mist. Ugh. They gonna be trying to attack me directly for game. What even said? Why do you want to go? Why would you want to go first as Dino Mist? Why would you want to go first as Huh? You don't want to go first as Dino Mist, right? Am I capping? Am I on, like... I must be losing my... Surely I'm losing my mind. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start with Disciples, and we're gonna bring out Ignis first. The reason why Ignis is gonna come out first is because Ignis is 100% gonna go off, because they're gonna protect their field. And this is just going to allow me to search a second card to pop even more cards that they control. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this negate here first, because that seems annoying. And I think it's the most likely that they proc something to protect it. And then my Ignis gets a free search. You ain't going to pop anything? Yeah, there it is. Oh, doesn't work like that. Alright. Good enough, I guess. I thought that was an activated effect. Turns out it ain't. So I'm going to go ahead and just crash right over that. They probably got Dynamis Howl set. Alright, here it is. So, I don't understand how Dynamis work. Holy cow, that's terrifying. What? Why didn't that work? Huh? Okay, I'll go ahead and set this though anyways. So, my opponent needs to find a skill or have Howling on the field. Dynamis confused. I feel like they'd be having a better time if they had just gone second. And I feel like I'd be having a better time if I hadn't drawn Utgarda in my opening hand. But we can't all have what we want, can we? Alright, show me what you got, Dynamis player. Show me what you got. Torrential Tribute! Sheesh! Alright. Y'all really don't want me to have cards. Okay, so this really is the top deck. If they don't find a low scale, then they ain't going to be doing anything this turn. I didn't really want to bring these out anymore, but, I mean, we do what we do. Do you got it? Do you got the low scale? Show me what you got. Alright, that's fine. I don't care about that. That don't do anything. It was a high scale. Dynamis booty, man. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 400. I don't really care. Wish I could bring out a Garda, though. Alright, so sadly, if I don't draw well here, it looks like I'm going to have to give up my... Every time! I hate this game. Okay, but they ain't exactly using monster effects either, so... I'm going to go ahead and give up Monarchs Erupt here. That's fine with me. Does that even have activated effects? Again, they're negating, but it don't matter. Let's go main 2, and we'll pass. Whoa! Is this a brick? Alright, this next draw gonna be big. Ugh, face down! What could it be? Alright, heart of the cards. Guide me. Draw! The like and subscribe button? What are you doing there? I mean, I drew it. Y'all might as well hit it. So, Alanoides is actually fine here. We're always going to attack just because it's good habit to set your guards in main phase 2. And we ain't trying to break good habits. We'll set this now, and I'll proceed to end my turn. Sadly, all the generators are out of the deck because we only run 2. There's only 1 copy of boss stage left, so the odds we find a brick here are very unlikely, but would be very saddening. Ooh, they found the low scale. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and draw off this first. And then I'm going to chain this, but I'm going to have to do something I've never done before. I'm going to have to read. Alright, so since that card hasn't fully resolved yet, I'm going to go ahead and pop the Ankleos here before that card resolves so we can't protect it. Neat little interaction about pendulums, huh? Alright, have fun pendulum summoning. Treat yourself, bro. Treat yourself to a pendulum summon. You seem like you wanna. Nice pendulum deck, bro. I've spent so much time messing around with pendulums. Yeah, pendulum's booty. Draw continuous spell. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and bring out our disciples. Our disciples sadly ain't gonna be able to draw, but it is gonna let us special summon out Ignis, and we're actually gonna pop the disciples here just to remove that back row, because I think it has the highest odds that they end up activating something. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this middle one. Huh. Well, I'm really glad I popped that middle one now. You dead yet, Ohms? Nah, you ain't dead. Oh! You is it! Exactly, though! I did math this whole time! What do y'all mean? I knew that was exact lethal this whole entire time. And there you go. True Dracos, just too strong. I mean, my Dynamis play, again, if I would have gone first, this would have been better. I don't know why my opponent made me go second when they were playing Dynamis, but hey, we take the wins we get. And that's true Draco Monarchs. Again, not the 100% win rate decks you've been seeing on other videos, but hey, like, if being bricky stopped people from playing true Draco Monarchs, then they wouldn't be as popular as it was in the actual game. It's just a little bit of fun variety. And again, the only decks you should be losing to is your own bad draw, because if you draw decently well, which you'll be doing 3 out of 4 games 75% of the time, then you're just gonna win, because this deck, like, is insane when it goes off. It's just that it don't go off 100% of the time. But hopefully you enjoyed, have a little variety in your normal rare event. I don't think this deck will get hit next time the event comes around because it ain't the most predominant one. But it was a lot of fun to make. Let me know what decks you guys want to see in the future. I have a Jinzo deck coming up this Wednesday, so hopefully see y'all there. Anyways, this has been Rojas, signing out.